Well, I hope this finds you having a great Holy Week. And I wanted to get us together with Karl Meyer so that he can help us walk through the musical journey of the Triduum and the Easter octave. And Karl, can you tell us really what is it like to plan the music for something like this?
Well, I have to tell you, Father, last year, which was the first Triduum that I had the opportunity to plan, I really went into it initially mistakenly planning three separate
Right.
liturgies, and as somebody who's planning the music and diving deep into the liturgy, it was a beautiful revelation for me
Yeah.
to discover that in fact I was actually planning one glorious,
celebration.
beautiful celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really music. Music is where we can really make this connection. That from the beginning of the Mass of the Lord's Supper to the end of the Easter Vigil is really one experience.
Yes.
With several chapters, but one experience. And we begin the Mass of the Lord's Supper with the sign of the cross and the greeting, and we don't do that again. And there's no end, there's no dismissal from that Mass.
Right.
And there's no dismissal until we get to the end of the vigil. It's
Right.
all one thing, and music is what really ties it together.
Yeah, as a liturgical musician, one of the things that we often think about is when we're approaching a certain Mass, whether it's Palm Sunday, how is this experience going to begin?
Right.
And as you're going through the music of the Triduum, and you begin planning Good Friday, and you realize, oh, that's not on me. It's done already.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
We're entering in silence because we
Right.
we began on Thursday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. And what music's also going to show us is that on Holy Thursday, you're referencing Good Friday and Easter Sunday,
Right.
cross and resurrection. And the same is true on the Easter Vigil, you're referencing back to the cross. You're always looking at the other elements,
And
that's
ultimately-
really a key thing to see here. Yeah.
Ultimately, that's been going on through the whole season of Lent as well. We have very recently experienced the raising of the dead in Lazarus, right?
Right.
We're always looking at the whole picture.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it seemed to me that music unlocks a key to this experience, which is the prolonging of experience. It's staying in the moment. The music helps us understand the nature of this time. So there's really two consecutive times. There's the Triduum, the 3 days that are one day, followed by the octave, the 8 days that are one day.
Right.
And the idea is really that you're living profoundly two different experiences.
And I think that's very countercultural to the way we experience Easter as a culture. What's been secularized to be kind of a low stakes, candy-filled moment.
Right.
Right.
Listen.
And it pops up in the stores and it's going to go away just as quickly. And here in the Catholic Church, we recognize that we want to be in that moment for a much longer period of time because we need to be changed by it.
That's it. That's right. Yeah. That's right. And I think one of the keys to staying in that moment is the use of chant and the way that the Triduum liturgies in particular make use of it.
Absolutely.
And I think we've grown in the use of chant, we understand more and more about it.
Right.
It's an experience.
Right.
One of the ways that I've come to see this is when we sing the Passion on Good Friday, we experience what I believe you musicians call melisma. It's the extension of a word. So we've been talking about the extension of experience, and that what unlocks that is the extension of words.
Absolutely. And you tend to see in chant and really in all music that is intrinsically sacred, that extension of a syllable or a word through these beautiful strings of notes that are formed together, which draw our focus to something that might be particularly important. And so
That's right.
You're not just hearing a repeated note with a single syllable on every note. You're hearing attention. You're hearing care and love placed into each
to
of it.
really
Yeah.
love the word.
Yes.
It's loving the word. Do you think you could give an example? Of
Sure,
how
absolutely. Absolutely.
With and without, or,
So when we're hearing this Passion Gospel according to John on Good Friday, and we're going to hear it chanted by a narrator and by Christus, Jesus, the person of Jesus, and by the choir who will join in as the crowd and the speakers, we're going to hear very familiar texts. For example, "Woman, behold your son." We know this is something Jesus said to the Apostle John in regards to his mother, but he also says to each of us, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And instead of just saying, "Woman, behold your son," or "Woman, behold your son," we hear, "Woman, behold your son."
Isn't that lovely? Yeah.
And it is. It's this moment of great importance. And we actually see that pattern arise through much of Christ's dialogue in the Passion. It's very unique to the words that he says.
Reverencing the words of Jesus. So
Absolutely.
we want to say, listeners, viewers, when you hear these melismas, go follow them.
Yeah.
Don't shortcut them. Follow them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're excellent moments to meditate on.
Yeah. And it's not just the solemn moments of, say, the Passion, but
Right.
it also shows up in the Easter Alleluias, right?
Yeah,
The way
it
the
does.
extending joy. I mean, there's a famous one for this. It's
It's true. So the Easter Alleluia that we hear at the Easter Vigil, we sing Alleluia, and we sing this melisma.
This is right before the Easter Gospel.
Exactly,
right?
right before the Gospel. We sing it 3 times, and every time it raises in pitch. Again, not only elongating this moment, but also sort of bringing an energy and an excitement to it. And so the Easter Alleluia, which is different than our Alleluia, Alleluia, right, is Alleluia, and it continues to go up and again, and then we add in not just one verse, but a few verses, and we come back to it. Yeah,
It's beautiful. It's a sustained joy.
yes,
Which really is an echo. It's a glimmering, really, of eternity.
yes,
And I find in my experience, in some ways, it's more challenging to sustain joy than it is to sustain penance.
oh, absolutely.
It's harder. It's more of a challenge, but it's a challenge that obviously repays accepting, Yeah. So I really appreciate this. And so we have this beautiful 3-day day that
Yes.
we're planning.
We do.
And you're going to take us through it. And then what follows is Easter Sunday morning, which is the beginning of an 8 days of one day, which is an 8 days of Sunday.
Right.
And it's intimate time spent with the risen Lord.
Exactly.
We try to prolong that experience. But it might be good, since we have lots of people coming on Easter morning, for you to guide us through what's planned for our masses on Easter morning. So maybe that would influence the way people choose.
Absolutely. I mean, each of those masses has a slightly different character, and the music is a large component of that character. So we will be starting bright and early at 6 o'clock in the morning.
The two of us.
That's right.
Yep.
With a sunrise service. And at that sunrise service, there is going to be a lot of chant. And beautiful text that the church provides for us to focus on, as well as a couple of hymns. But it will really be a very reflective service.
And one thing it'll be a joy to concentrate on at that hour is the sequence.
Right.
The Victime Pascali Laudes.
Yes, that Easter sequence is one of the most beautiful things that I have the privilege of singing all year. Absolutely love it.
Very.
Following that, at 8 a.m., music will be provided by the Life Teen Band. And it's really going to be, well, you hear it's the Life Teen Band, it's really going to be a very big range of music.
I heard it. I was at the rehearsal on Sunday night. They had rehearsed, and I said to myself, it filled me up. And I said, let's skip the whole week and just go right to this. You know,
but don't make me skip Good Friday. I love the music that we have on Good Friday. So following that, at 10 a.m., we have the return of our family choir, which we met for the first time on Christmas Eve this year. And I just get so much joy out of the family choir. It does tend to be the largest mass of our Easter season. So if you're hoping to dodge crowds a little bit, you might think of hitting one of the other masses.
That's right. Join us for that the 6 a.m. pre-coffee experience.
That's right. No, it's pre-coffee. What are you doing in the morning? I will be having coffee first. All right. So 10 a.m. family choir. It's going to be very, very beautiful. And following the 10 a.m. at noon, our folk choir has prepared the music for that mass, and they're going to do a beautiful job as they always do.
Excellent. And that does, by the way, shut us down. That after the 1 day of the Triduum and these masses, we're done. So there's not an evening mass because we really couldn't do it. Right.
I mean, we could. No. I won't say that in front of you.
Yeah. So that's great. Well, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it. And I think the way that, we're drawing on the whole musical wealth of the parish to serve this common experience is really going to be evident.
And if I could make one invitation, Father, one of the things that I would say is, if you have never experienced the Triduum in its entirety, to really make the effort this year to come out. It's 7 p.m. on Holy Thursday, 7 p.m. on Good Friday, and the Great Vigil of Easter begins at 8 p.m. on Saturday. And it really, really is a beautiful experience of this gift of salvation from the church.
Right. Yeah. And you experience through the whole thing, it's the giving, it's the unilateral, direct gift of Jesus. Mm-hmm. And the opportunity then to recognize that the power of his resurrection is already at work.
Right. Exactly.
Us. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, well, listen, we're grateful to you for watching this, and we hope that it'll add to your Paschal experience. And we'll look forward to seeing you through the week.